Sit rolling around, sitting on doves, can't lie, I was high on shrubs.
So topical back with another video. I'm Strange Wayne. He's Nate. Today we're doing a ranking of every Pixar movie known to man, and that means we're including Onward. How does it work, Nate?
If you don't know how we do these types of videos for this one, since we are going through every single Pixar movie that has been released, feature films, not shorts, we will power through the bottom list until we get to our top 10, and then we will trade off our bottom 5 apiece of that top 10, and then once we get to the top 5, we will go 5-4, 5-4, 3-2, 3-2, and then we'll trade off our number 1s. After we do all of that, we will take a short break from you and combine our two lists into the definitive, undisputed best Pixar movie list ranking ever.
Last place is ironic because it's Cars 2, a racing movie. Next
That's my bottom.
is Finding Dory, then Brave, Incredibles 2, The Good Dinosaur, A Bug's Life, WALL-E, Cars 3, Ratatouille. I really liked this movie. I liked it a lot.
Right.
I love cooking. Italian. I'm Italian. I liked it even more. I can't like a rat. It's just like...
Well, you fucking look like one.
Fuck you, man. I just couldn't get behind a rat. So that's just threw the whole movie off for me personally. Toy Story 4, Onward, the latest release, and Toy Story.
All right. Well, we're pretty close on a lot of those, but... So, my bottom is going to go like this. At the very bottom, just like you, Cars 2, then The Good Dinosaur, Finding Dory, Brave, Monsters University, Toy Story 4, Cars 3, A Bug's Life, The Incredibles 2, Toy Story 3, and Toy Story. And then finally, at the 11th spot is Cars.
I think we can both say it. Those Toy Story movies,
Oh, yeah.
a little overrated.
I mean, I grew up with them, man. Like, I saw the first Toy Story in theaters and loved it, was obsessed with it, but Pixar's just put out so much good content over the years. Like,
everybody,
Toy Story ain't as good as you remember it.
everybody's like, Cars 3, I cried. Like, yes, everyone told me that. Nemo, and I was like, that's all right. I ain't cry.
Maybe we watched too many movies, but
I think that's the case. But I'm gonna go with my bottom 5 of my 10, and it is Cars. Speaking of Toy Story 3, coming at number 9. Number 8, Incredibles. Number 7, Toy Story 2. This is the best one. I'll tell you why. You have more characters. You separate Buzz and Woody a little bit. That relationships are established. All the relationships are established. You only have to establish 2 relationships, really.
yeah.
And the bad guy of the whole entire movie is homeboy from Seinfeld. And no one I know likes Newman on Seinfeld.
Yeah.
So it makes perfect sense to have him as the voice of the bad guy
Yeah.
in this movie.
Yeah.
And it's very meta, too, because there are tons and hundreds of people like that. I was like a little kid. I was like, nah, old people don't play with toys. No one does that with toys. So now it's just so much meta. I love it for that aspect as well. And then coming in at number 6, Finding Nemo, a.k.a. Nemo Hose.
Okay. We're going to be close on some of those. All right, so my number 10 is going to be Up. The first 10 minutes of this movie are absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
Some of the
Incredible.
best in cinema, I would argue. I mean, to get that powerful of a story in the beginning.
Yeah, montage.
But everything else, I just have a hard time caring about. There's so many, and I understand it's a cartoon. I understand that almost all of Pixar stuff is make-believe and all that kind of stuff. But we're supposed to believe that this takes place in a real world. These are human characters, and there are just so many fucking plot holes in this movie, man. Like, it doesn't make sense that dude's still alive. He would be like 100.
You don't know how time works in that world.
Well, he got old. Why does Mr. Fredricksen get old? And this guy just, like, maybe aged 10 years in the time it took him to age 50.
Because the air is
Screw
something
50.
world.
I mean, it don't make no sense, man. Like, that just really bothers me. Anyways, as emotionally powerful as the first part of that movie is, the rest of the movie does not hold up to that point. And yeah, it's sweet when he shows up for Russell at the end. But, like, you know what? Russell still has a shit dad. And you know what? Mr. Fredricksen's old. And he's going to die at some point. And Russell's just going to be without a father yet again. So, it's actually incredibly bleak. And I don't like it.
He got all his dogs with him.
Number 9 is Toy Story 2. I agree with you. I think it's the best of the Toy Stories. Literally everything you said, I'm on board with.
Hey, you don't like Seinfeld that much.
Number 8, Monsters, Inc. I love this story. I really do. It's great. Good story about friendship and breaking out of social norms and challenging them. Just because someone said something's bad for you doesn't necessarily mean it is. And it's really sweet. On top of that, I got The Incredibles. And then at number 6, I have Ratatouille, because I don't have a problem getting behind a rat. Because in Pixar movies, I've gotten behind weirder things.
It's debatable.
Coming at my number 5 is going to be very controversial because I know him, but it's still in the top 5 is Coco.
Man, that's bullshit.
I think the first 10 minutes of the film is super powerful. It's just all the little things that you don't see in other Pixar movies to me.
I want to make one more point about Up real quick. And this is what lost it for me, and I meant to say it when I went, but I forgot. So there's the scene where he finally gets his house to the ledge.
Yeah.
Right? Like, this is what he's been trying to do the whole time. This is what him and his wife have been talking about doing, like, their whole marriage, and she died before she got to do it, and she was the reason that he was starting all of this. He gets there. Like, he does that for his wife. And the movie tells us it doesn't matter because he disappointed a little kid about some random wild animal. Like, we do not get to appreciate that moment. There's one split second where he's happy about it, and then he's immediately sad because Russell's sad about the bird. And that's stupid, and it pisses me off because that man's relationship with his wife and how much effort he put in that relationship and how much effort he put into getting that house on that edge should matter way more than what happens to that stupid bird.
Well, I took it as him needing to move on with his life. You can love your wife and appreciate what you guys had, but life moves on, and life is about meeting people and having meaningful relationships. And he found a meaningful relationship, and he didn't want to disappoint that person. Same way he didn't want to disappoint his wife when she was alive.
He could have been completely happy. Like, he got exactly where he told his wife. Like, he literally could have just rested in peace on top of that waterfall until he died. And then Homeboy would have never been mad at him about being there. He would have never thought he was trying to steal the bird. They would have never had any of the trouble that they got into. He would have been fine. And yeah, Russell probably would have died, but, like, it's not like anyone's really paying attention to where he is, because there's never a scene where Russell's mom is like, oh my gosh, where have you been?
That's fair.
My number 3 is going to be Massey University. I absolutely love this film. I love the cast of characters it brings in. I love the college vibe. I love how different they are when they meet and they have to come together. I love everything about this movie. The voice cast phenomenal. Anything with Billy Crystal in it, I'm going to love. John Goodman, excellent voice as well. Next is going, and Steve Buscemi's in this movie too. I'll fuck with Steve Buscemi. Our friend HT looks like Steve Buscemi.
That movie has no substance.
It's about friendship, dog.
Yeah, all of these movies are about friendship,
like
and do
you.
it better.
I didn't like you when I first met you, and look at us now.
Our friendship is a better movie than Monsters University.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Number 2, Monsters, Inc. Again, I love their friendship. You see them together, and all the shenanigans they get into with the doors and meeting Boo, and it's a beautiful movie, man. Very, very beautiful. Mm-hmm. You could even say it's Lisa Bonet. First place, it is. I was about to say Monsters Inc. again. That's how much I like the movie.
I guess we're not doing 5-4-5-4.
Oh shit!
My number 5 is going to be WALL-E.
Holy cow!
I never liked this movie. I really didn't, and then I rewatched it for the first time like 2 or 3 weeks ago because I knew we were doing this list, and I disliked it so much because all I ever freaking heard about it was like the massive save the earth message, which, like, do not get me wrong, I'm all on board with that, but I don't like movies that just shove an agenda in my face. You know, like, treat us smarter than that. Find a more subtle way to do it. But when I rewatched it, I knew that I hated that part of the movie, so I started paying attention to all the other parts of the movie, and I fell in love with those parts of it. Like, Wally and Eve's relationship is incredibly sweet. Like, he's just this kind of, like, all he cares about is how much he cares about her. And she has, like, this greater purpose going on that she's determined to follow, so she doesn't see that at first. So getting to watch her slowly realize how much Wally cares about her and, like, her learning to give that more weight and priority, it was beautiful. And then getting to watch, I know it kind of ties into the whole Save the Earth message, but getting to watch the captain of the Axiom start to go right, go through his computer and see all these things that humanity used to do in their world, like things as simple as like dancing and like, you know, gardening and like all this stuff, and seeing how much joy and like just awe he is in of these things that we still get to do now. So it's like, yeah, there's the Save the Earth message, but the point of the Save the Earth message is like, we are actually incredibly unappreciative of the opportunities that we have now and the things that we do get to enjoy. And that's a really, really good reminder. And I think it's something that more people need to take notice of, because realizing how lucky we are to even get to exist makes some of our small problems in life seem a little less small. And number 4 on my list is Finding Nemo. I love stories about family a lot. And I also really, really love stories about
Fish.
Parents.
Huh?
Yeah. I mean, there's a few movies I like there about fish. Charles is good. Getting to see the lengths that like this father goes to find his son, even if it is kind of like out of this really unhealthy space of like fear because of what happened to all of his other eggs and his wife and all that kind of stuff. But getting to watch him conquer those fears and push through to try to find his son is great. Gets some really hilarious moments along the way. What makes this movie so much better than Finding Dory is that there's not as much Dory. So in this movie, she's in there just enough for the comic relief. And her comic relief is actually useful in propelling the story. Like a lot of the next step in there, it's an epic. It really is. So like a lot of the steps they take in their epic is because of Dory being the way that she is. So it's not just this throwaway side character. It actually serves a purpose in furthering the story. And I really appreciate that in storytelling. It doesn't happen a whole lot. And that's great. And nice, warm, happy ending. You know, the son grows, the father grows. They learn to understand each other a little bit more and move on from there. And I really dig that. My number 3 is going to be the most recent release, and it is Onward.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't understand why this is so low on your list. That makes no sense to me at all.
You want me to tell you?
No.
What matters to me in film is depth and importance. Pixar has been killing it within the last like 4 or 5 years in that aspect, with a few misses. But this movie is so deep, and the themes of it are incredible. So this idea, I'm not going to spoil it because it is so fresh. I know a lot of people haven't watched it yet, but if you've seen the trailer or even read the little description on Disney Plus, you understand the basics are 2 brothers find a way to bring their dad back from the dead, but they fuck it up, mess it up. I'm sorry. So they only bring half of them back, and they got to figure out how to, you know, it goes with it. So it's an excellent adventure. It's a great story about brotherhood. It's a great story about listening to people who you don't necessarily have a lot of respect for, but still learning to understand that maybe they know some stuff about life that you don't. It's a great story about learning to appreciate the people that have been there for you your whole life or for a period of time that you needed people there for you, and not getting so caught up in who wasn't there for you. And it also is a huge lesson in sacrifice. So this movie has so many deep and important themes that it touches on. It doesn't throw any of them in your face. They make a lot of sense to the story itself, and I absolutely love it. And then number 2 for me is, I'm assuming your number 1, which is going to be Inside Out.
That is correct.
Man, what a great freaking movie. Anytime that a children's film has a big message about feelings and teaching you how to operate them and handle them better, and understand that having them doesn't make you soft or hard or anything else, and that you can feel multiple feelings at one time, is great. And watching this young girl get to go through all those things as she's kind of entering adolescence and figure out how to handle big things in life and still feel her feelings, but also learning how to not let her feelings control her actions. Big stuff.
My number 1 is Inside Out.
Nice.
And to me, you said most of it, so I'll keep it brief. Like what I'm wearing underneath my pants.
Nice, yeah.
Everyone can relate to these values in these Pixar films as they grow. Mm-hmm. Not everyone has a death early in their family. Not everyone... Some friendships come easy, some people, some they don't. So all these values that we learn in these Pixar movies, you may relate to them, you may not, you may relate to them over time. This is one everyone will relate to. That's why I think it's so great. It's a beautiful film.
Yeah.
You can even say it's Lisa Bonet. That means it's beautiful.
Yeah, that's still really tired. Yeah, solid choice. My number 1 is going to be Coco. Number 5 is a travesty. That doesn't make sense.
It's number 5.
Yeah, whatever. This film is beautiful. It's my number 1 for a lot of reasons.
Is it Lisa Bonet?
1, because it's a stupid joke.
Okay, man. Arnold.
1, because it's visually stunning. Easily the most visually stunning Pixar movie. The fact that they were able to produce that vibrant of a world through animation blows my mind. The only thing that I've seen that has even come close to that in vibrance and animation is Into the Spider-Verse, which is obviously still kind of a different animation style than what Pixar goes for. But the way they combine that color with the realism of their animation style is incredible. Secondly, the story is phenomenal. Just like you said, I love the music aspects of that. Music is great. It's a lot more important than a lot of people give it credit for. It gives people artistic outlets. It gives people a space to just kind of disappear into when like the world is a little too much and all that kind of stuff. So getting to watch this little dude who has this passion for music, but it's being suppressed by his family, which is another great point of the story, is that your passions are your passions and your family doesn't get to decide those for you, so you need to follow them regardless, while still finding ways to respect your family. So instead of just saying, I'm going to go do my own thing, screw your family, like they told him his dad did, he finds a way to bring it all back together, and then his family ends up enjoying his passion because he decided that he could have both worlds, whether they wanted to or not. And then obviously you get that tear-jerking moment where he sings to his grandma and she remembers everything that happened. And I also really, really love creepy shit that's not scary. And most of this movie takes place in the afterworld. And it's a really, really cool version of the afterworld.
Now we're going to put them all together and make the list. We're back with the definitive list, so we are going to go through number 22 down to number 1. So number 22 is Cars 2.
Number 21 is going to be The Good Dinosaur.
Number 20 is Finding Dory.
Number 19 is Brave.
Number 18, The Incredibles 2.
Number 17 is A Bug's Life.
Number 16, Cars 3.
Number 15, Toy Story 4.
Number 14 is Toy Story.
Number 13 is Toy Story 3.
Number 12, Ratatouille.
Number 11 is Cars.
Number 10, Monsters University.
Number 9 is WALL-E.
Number 8, Toy Story 2.
Number 7 is The Incredibles.
Number 6 is the opposite of down. It is up.
Nice. Number 5 is Onward.
Number 4, Monsters, Inc.
Number 3, Finding Nemo.
Number 2, Coco.
And number 1, Inside Out.
That is all 22 Pixar movies are ranked. Tell us how you feel about the ranking down in the comment section below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.